Jane Douglas for GameSpot UK inside a Seacrest County Lamborghini police car. We're here at Longcross Test Track where we're about to try out some real-life Hot Pursuits ahead of checking out EA's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit the game. Here to talk about Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Patrick's elite driving skills notwithstanding. So you were talking earlier about the Need for Speed franchise and how it lost its way a little bit. You said EA was beating up the franchise a little. What did you mean by that, and how is Hot Pursuit going to bring it all back?
Well, I think, you know, as a leader inside of EA, we need to be honest to ourselves and say, okay, this wasn't really working. The strategy that we had wasn't particularly effective. We were delivering products that were suffering quality-wise, and that obviously had an effect on sales. And ultimately, the only way back up is to reboot the franchise, do something that the audience will respect and like, and then hopefully it will follow. So it wasn't that hard, to be honest. It was like, I spoke to my boss about it, and we mutually agreed that we need to have a developer that can work on the game for a longer time. So, you know, obviously you need about 2 years to make a high quality experience, and we then decided to put several developers onto Need for Speed so we can do that.
And so part of the process was bringing in Criterion, who have a great pedigree, obviously, well known for the Burnout games. How much of Burnout's DNA is in Hot Pursuit?
I mean, obviously, if it comes from Criterion, it's going to have parts and pieces from Burnout that you will recognize from the Burnout series. But I do think that it's important to state that this is kind of Criterion's take on Need for Speed, which will mean a couple of things. It will mean that it's an arcade action experience. It will mean that it's beautiful, but it's relatively easy to pick up and play, which I think is key to a lot of consumers today. And obviously then bolt on top of that Need for Speed tenant, like the stuff that with the exotic licensed cars, the beautiful world, the cops and the racer side of the game, and then on top of that Autolog, and then you have a relatively interesting package, I think.
Okay, Autolog is the social networking hub. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, it's an idea that came from Criterion, where they wanted to basically craft for lack of a better word, a driver version of Facebook, that's in the game. So you log into Autolog and Autolog, and then you'll find friends that are online playing the game, and you can add them, and then you can compare data with them. You can show them photos that you've taken in the game. You can challenge them. They can challenge you. They get to beat your best times. And the cool thing about Autolog is that you will get information served from Autolog continuously, even if you're playing single player. As long as your system is connected online.
All right, fantastic. And today we've been playing the online multiplayer. We've been playing the actual Hot Pursuit mode. All right, describe it for us for somebody who hasn't played it.
Well, the Hot Pursuit mode is one side is the racer and the other side is the cop. You can actually decide. There's an 8-player match, and you can decide if you want to have 1 cop and 7 racers, or if you want to have 4 and 4 or whatever. I think you played 4 and 4 here today. It starts by the racers going away and the cops chasing them, and the racers have a point A to point B race where they need to reach the finish line before they get busted, basically. And then the cops will have an arsenal of weapons at their disposal to take out the racers, and the racers can have some countermeasures too in forms of weapons.
And the weapons are like spike strips, EMPs. What else you got?
Well, the cop have roadblocks, which is traditional Need for Speed, spike strips, and obviously a EMP, which will handicap the racers for a little while, and the electronics in the car will get all screwed up. And then they have a special weapon, which is the helicopter, which will come in and follow the racers and drop spike strips in front of it. The racers will have a turbo boost, which is a high kind of nitrous effect that will boost your speed significantly. They will have an EMP, they will have spike strips, and it's kind of an interesting dynamic when you play. It's like you have a limited amount of these weapons, and you have to really be careful in how you use them and when you use them. And as a racer, it's all about making sure that you avoid the cops and flee.
Okay, so you're probably keeping an eye on what other racing games are doing. What do you think of things like Blur and Split Second? Do they interest you? What kind of features do you particularly admire in them?
Split Second I played a bunch, and I really enjoyed it as a kind of pick up and play quick type of game. And I have to say that for I'm looking forward to Gran Turismo, of course, even though it's delayed again, unfortunately. I think that with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, what we have is maybe a slightly different offering. We have something that I think pushes the boundaries of what driving games have done in the past. We have with the social network as the hub, and obviously a beautiful game where you can play both racers and cops, which I think is interesting. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit coming out on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and PC, and on the Wii, and shipping in November in Europe.